Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to be looking at X-Plane 11. So it's an older flight simulator, but it's still very powerful. It has some of the best physics out there, and so today we're going to give it a go. The very first thing I'm noticing right now is the ground handling. So the way this aircraft feels on the ground, it's very fluid. I really like how it feels. You can feel kind of the friction. It doesn't just go wherever it wants to go. You have to give it some throttle to get it moving, so that feels really good. I'll just go ahead and stop, but let's take a look at these textures up close. Put on the parking brake here. Look at this. Look at the detail and the texture and the way the light is shimmering off of this. I don't even know what to say, but that looks really good. Like, there's a 3D kind of texture here, and the way it interacts with the sun is really well done. Our aircraft, it's also very detailed. The textures on it are nice and crisp, and obviously when we control the rudder here and the elevators, it's all very natural and accurate to real life. Let's go take this thing for a spin and see how it handles in the air. We'll put on our strobes, landing lights. Looks like a beautiful day outside. Shouldn't have any trouble getting off the ground here. Of course, we're going to be taking a look at that scenery. We have some add-on scenery for this area because default scenery in X-Plane 11 just doesn't quite cut it. But if you get some add-on scenery, it can look pretty good. Alright, we're lining up here. We can go full throttle. And immediately I notice I have to give it the right rudder input, which is accurate to real life. We have a bunch of left-turning tendencies for this aircraft. So you're going to need to give it some right rudder to maintain the center line. Alright, picking up speed. There's 60. We're gonna start rotating. And wow, immediately I can just feel the flight dynamics. The physics are amazing. It just feels so fluid and accurate to real life. Also, the sounds are pretty good. Obviously, X-Plane 12 improved greatly on their sounds, adding a whole ecosystem of sounds. Ambient sounds and all that is very nice in X-Plane 12, but they're still pretty good in X-Plane 11. Classic flyby view here. We need to get that in Microsoft Flight. Alright, let's just do a standard left traffic pattern here at Aspen. Alright, and this is our add-on scenery for this area. Looks quite good in my opinion. Obviously it's not going to be as good as Microsoft Flight, but still very, very nice. It's very believable. Also the traffic on the road down there. That's something I think that X-Plane does a really good job at, is depicting traffic. Microsoft, the car behavior is very unpredictable. They'll be like phasing through roads and everything, but here the logic is very accurate. The cars actually follow the roads, and the roads look quite good as well. Downwind, and we'll just come around and try to land this thing. Also, all the instruments here are nice and crisp. You can read them all very easily. Now, let's take a look at this water over here while we're at it. We might mess up our pattern here, but let's see what this looks like. Because that's something that X-Plane 12 also tried to improve on, was their water. Slip it down a little bit. Huh, what is this? This actually looks quite interesting. Oh, wait. Oh, it's not even water. These are solar panels. Oh, wow. Okay, that's actually pretty cool. I thought it was water from a distance, but no, it's a solar panel farm. Huh. I didn't even know that was a thing, but there you go. The elevation maps are quite nice and realistic with the elevation of the mountains around here, the hills. Here we have some live traffic as well. Yeah, let's take it back. Let's see what we can do. We can land this thing. But again, the physics are just amazingly fluid and dynamic with the world. You can really feel the aircraft moving through the air. It's not just a static environment. It's very realistic. Alright, 10 below 110, flaps 10. Flaps 20, flaps 30. Alright, on glide path, 2 red, 2 white. And we have that displaced threshold right there. That looks really good. Runway 15 identified. We're going to pull the throttle and start our flare here. Aim it down towards the end of the runway. And boom, bada bing. Look at that. I'm a pro. I'm a skilled man. Let's put on the brakes here. And we'll just follow this taxiway line. And we'll head back to the ramp. So, as you can tell after watching this video, if you stayed this long, this is a heavily modded X-Plane 11. This is not default. Pretty much almost everything you see is modded. The airport ground textures, which I was talking about, those are add-ons. The scenery, also add-ons. The lighting here, also an add-on. The trees, also an add-on. So it's very heavily modded, but when you heavily mod it, it can actually look quite good. Alright everybody, let's check out what X-Plane 11 looks like at night. Take a look at this. In my opinion, it looks phenomenal. It looks incredible. I think it's, I don't know, some of the best night lighting you can get. Again though, the little secret, it's modded. This is not default. But if you take the time to mod it, you can make it look like this. And I think it looks amazing. And also again, the traffic, you can see all their headlights are on. And I don't know, it's a very immersive experience for sure. No doubt about that. Alright, Bessie, I'll give you some throttle there. You like that? Good. Alright. Also, if you can't tell, this is the Tolis A321. Again, an add-on aircraft. A very good add-on aircraft, I'll say. 1,000. Oh wow, look at that. There's someone else on final. He's off to our left there, if you see him right here. Look at that. That's really cool. Wow, that's amazing though. Look at him. Over there on final, you can see his navigation lights, his strobes. 500. We're on a parallel approach here. That's really cool, actually. And yeah, look at all this traffic around here. Look at that. Driving around, you can see their tail lights, their headlights. Very immersive. Also just the airport lighting here. Take a look at that. Our approach lighting system. The PAPI's there. Right now we're a little bit high. And when we come in, look at the lighting. My landing light just illuminating the runway as we're coming in. There's another guy lining up there to land. 50, that's really cool. 40, 30, 20, retard, 10. Alright, let's see what we can do here. Alright, reversers. Boom, bada bing. I'll take it. I will take it. Beautiful, beautiful. 60 knots there. I mean, look at that. You can just see all the lighting there off to the side. All the lights at the terminals is all very illuminated. Alright, let's apply some more brake. all this off. And this is all very accurate to real life here. We have our blue taxiway edge lighting, and then this alternating amber and green as we exit off here. And again, just the way the landing lights interact with the ground is so accurate to real life here. And look at that, we have more traffic there at the terminals. You can see their beacon lights flashing. We got all of our taxiway direction signs there being nicely illuminated, and you can actually read them, which is something I like. Whereas in Microsoft, unless you have like a really beefy computer, they can sometimes be a little bit blurry, but I don't know if you can see that or not. But and Wu-Doggy, we're crashing. There's that live traffic again. Woo! Look at that, guys taking off. That's cool. Also a Delta, because we are in Hartsfield here. Yeah, very, very immersive experience. Alright, and now let's check out the Zibo 737. Very, very popular aircraft in the X-Plane community. Here we go, let's take off. We have evening departure here, and we also have some cumulus clouds out there. So that's one thing. X-Plane has never had good clouds. They always look, in my opinion, very fake, a little too colorful. They don't spread out into the distance, but it's something, you know. But definitely not very good. Look at that, another Southwest 737. Let's start rotating. Zero. I'd say the sky coloring looks pretty good though. This water could use some work. Yeah, let's take a look at this sunset over here. Also, there's a train. If you guys can see that, that's kind of cool. Again, ground traffic and different dynamic things are all really well done in X-Plane. Yeah, there we go. Let's look at that sunset right there. Very nice. Yeah, I think that looks quite nice. The lighting looks pretty good there for that sunset. But it's just the clouds. I don't know. The clouds don't look that great in my opinion. Yeah, this Zibo 737 flies really nicely. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Nice, nice, nice. Once we get closer to the clouds, though, I would say that they actually look quite nice. Like right now, this is a decent depiction of what clouds look like. They're not volumetric though, so when we go through it, it's going to just kind of phase next to us. We don't actually fly through any three-dimensional cloud. That's one of the drawbacks of X-Plane 11. There we go, we're through it. And again, that looks decent. Doesn't look incredible, but it's a decent representation of what clouds look like. There you go up front here. I think also there's just they're a little too pink with the sunset. How about let's try changing the time to more midday? Right about there. I think that helps a little bit. But there's not very much texture to them. It looks just very... I don't know. They're not the best, not the worst. But I will say the shadows underneath the clouds look pretty nice. They're not that bad. In the daytime, they're much better than at evening or whatever. Like, this looks like a decent representation of what clouds look like. I think there should just be a little more shading, a little more depth to them with some darkness and stuff like that. They're a little too white. But it's, you know, it's not terrible. But yeah, X-Plane 11, still a good contender. even in 2026 if you're willing to take the time to mod it. And yeah, that'll probably be it for this video. We'll cut the mixture here, and I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all later in another Zorcool video.